Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today, we're on board the last of the heavy cruisers, USS Salem. Salem is one of the Des Moines class heavy cruisers, which were the final class built in the United States or anywhere in the world. Heavy cruisers typically have 8-inch guns, like these 8-inch 55s that I'm sitting on today. Salem and her sister ships have a special type of 8-inch 55, which was the first auto-loading 8-inch gun ever deployed. And it's a true wonder of 1940s technology. Stay tuned throughout the rest of the week as we post more videos on our time on Salem, including one on these fabulous guns. The Des Moines class was designed following the Baltimore and the Oregon City class during World War II. 4 of the 12 projected members of this class, Salem, Des Moines, Newport News, and Dallas, were laid down in the closing days of World War II, late in 1945. Dallas was canceled when she was about a quarter of the way done, but the 3 ships that had their construction pretty far along were chosen for completion, probably because the Navy wanted to see how this gun worked. Likewise, later Baltimore and Oregon City class cruisers were also canceled post-war. Why would you cancel a perfectly good ship, the best of the heavy cruisers in my opinion? Well, nobody else was building them anymore, and we had so many Baltimores from during the war and other classes that nobody else could compare, so building better and better versions was unnecessary. However, Salem and her sister ships served throughout the post-war era and were primarily used as fleet flagships because of their large size. They were the largest of the cruisers, with the exception of the beautiful Alaskas. And one of them, Newport News, even saw extensive service during 3 tours of duty off the coast of Vietnam. The automatic 8-inch guns were tremendous for shore bombardment, and they would have been awesome in a naval fight as well, or even an air attack, had these ships suffered that fate. Salem and Des Moines were sent to the mothball fleet in the late 50s and early 60s, while Newport News was retained through Vietnam into the early 70s. And then all 3 ships were looked at in the 80s to be reactivated alongside the Iowa-class battleships armed with cruise missiles, but it was decided, despite their large size and relatively light steaming time, that that was not going to be done. So in the early 90s, organizations formed to try and turn these historically significant vessels into museums. And only Salem was able to accomplish that, and she was opened as a museum ship here in Quincy, Massachusetts, where the Battleship New Jersey team is visiting today. Salem has been open now for about 30 years and is honestly one of my favorite tours of a museum ship that I've ever gotten to do. Because she was nested with her sister ships and wasn't the one nearest to the pier, she wasn't as extensively stripped for parts as the others. In fact, Battleship New Jersey has a ton of spare parts on board from Des Moines. And so walking through, you're seeing a very complete ship with largely World War II and immediate post-war technology on board. And one of my favorite features is that whereas on Battleship New Jersey, you're walking down a railroad track tour route, on Salem you have much more freedom to wander the ship. For those of you who have never gotten to experience a Navy open house or a strip trip, where you get to go on deactivated ships and look around for parts, Salem is possibly the closest I've ever come on a museum ship to getting that sort of exploration experience. They are not letting me take spare parts, however. They threaten to use a metal detector on me when I leave. The cruiser Salem is 100% volunteer run, and they're open seasonally April to November. If you're dying to get on board prior to that, because by the time this airs, the open season will most likely be coming to an end, you'll have to sign up to be a volunteer on board. We've got links in the description to their website where you can see their hours and when they're open, and also see what the process is to sign up as a volunteer so that you can help restore this magnificent ship. And there's a link in the description below to their social media, so be sure to check out their Facebook and their Instagram to find out what sort of upcoming events they're doing. And there's also a link to where you can donate to help support the restoration of this vessel. The cruiser Salem is actually longer than South Dakota class battleships like USS Massachusetts that we're going to visit later this week. So the restoration challenges that they face is the same as on a battleship, and they're doing it with an entirely volunteer crew. No battleships or other capital ships have entirely volunteer run crews. Also, you have to make sure that you plan to come see Salem at some point. No other heavy cruiser has been preserved, and only 2 other cruisers have been preserved in this country. The Little Rock in Buffalo, which is a World War II era light cruiser retrofitted with missiles, and the old USS Olympia that you should absolutely visit whenever you come to the Philadelphia area to see the battleship. Their links are also in the description. What's your favorite tour of a museum ship? Let us know in the comments section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State and also from a number of other businesses and individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate the support you guys have given us. For this video, consider supporting another museum ship like USS Salem. Thanks for watching.